Yeah, I want to go over a couple of these a little bit more. So I'm gonna just actually, after doing some of these with another kid, I'm just more aware of some of the potential mistakes. So I'm gonna just check these out a little bit. So we did this one before. The midline's -2, and actually I'm gonna erase it because your teacher lets us just draw y equals -2 for the midline. And let's see, period's pi, and the starting point is 0. There's no horizontal shift. So if I go to the right pi, it's that, no problem. And then I come to the amplitude. One mistake I might potentially make is I might just write 1/2 there and -1/2. But I have to, and which looks correct, but I have to pay attention. This is actually -2 now. So if I'm going up 1/2, that means it's going to be -1.5. If I go down 1/2 from this, it's going to be -2.5. All right, and then pi. And then I guess I'm good. I'm going to draw this thing in. It's upside down, so it's not like that. It's like this. All right. So I want to do this one really quick too. So this one's not in the right format. I have to factor out whatever's in front of the x. You don't just get to pick what you factor out. If it was up to you, you would just factor out a pi. But no, it's not like that. You're forced to factor this entire thing out, even if it doesn't look like it could be factored out. So it'd be 2 pi, and then if you need to, you can just write it like this. This is the same as pulling a 2 pi out of each of these terms. Right? I wrote this here, which means I divide each of these by 2 pi, which I really don't need for that one, but it helps me with this one. It's kind of hard to pull out a 2 pi out of 3 pi, but if you write it like this, it's 3/2. Okay. Then I'm also going to move this 2 over there. So this one's tough. It's got all 4 types of transformations. So we said we're going to start with our amplitude is 3. Our period is 2 pi over 2 pi, just 1. And you might want to note, your teacher does this every problem. She says right 3.5. It looks like left 3.5, but it's right 3.5. If it had been positive, then it would have been -3/2. It would have been left 3/2. But it's negative, so it's right. Counterintuitive. And the midline is at y equals 2. All right. So y equals 2. And then my starting point is 3/2, not -3/2. All right. So this one, I got to be careful. My amplitude is 3, but I don't want to just go saying up 3, down 3. Right? I don't want to just say 3 and -3 because my midline is at 2. So 3 up from 2 is 5, and down 3 is -1. Okay. The other thing I don't want to do, this period's 1, so I might just go 1, right? Sometimes that works only if we're starting at 0, but since we're already starting at 3/2, it's 3/2 plus 1, which is 5/2. So I guess this is the main reason I wanted to make this little video, being careful with these things. If our midline's not 0, we got to be careful with how we apply the amplitude. And same thing, if we're not starting at 0, we have to be careful how we apply that period. It's the distance from the starting point. So this is 1. But from there, I can just slap this stuff in. It's just drawing my points. It's a regular cosine, so it's not inverted. Okay. Another thing we didn't do too much is the domain and range, but no big deal. This one is 3/2, comma, not 1, but 1 plus 3/2 or 5/2. And range, it's not -3, 3. It's -1, 5.